It's 2?
Yeah.
Look at the sun.
Yeah. Okay, well, and have a good sleep.
See you at breakfast.
Okay, good night.
Right, good night.
Yeah.
It's really strange to be going to bed at 2 in the morning with the sun shining brightly overhead. We'll set out for the wolves tomorrow. The high Arctic. Wolf expert David Meach, high on a hill above the camp.
This is one of the best spots to watch from.
What's the best thing to do? Is to wait or to go in and look for them?
No, just stay right here and wait for them to appear up here.
Now, of course, they might not be here at all at the moment. They might be out hunting, mightn't they?
Well, the adults might be out hunting, but the pups will be here.
The pups will be.
Pups will be here.
So I suppose this would be a good time to ask you, what do they eat?
They eat muskoxen and Arctic hare up here is what it amounts to.
Yeah, not us.
No, not people.
No.
Guaranteed.
Right. Okay, so we wait. We wait.
And we wait for hours. It's freezing cold. An Arctic wolf. Coming towards us. We stay absolutely still. It's very wary.
This is a kind of a miracle.
It is, isn't it?
It really is.
Yes, it is. Yeah. This is the only place in the world that I can do this.
I mean, that is a wolf.
It certainly
A
is.
wild wolf.
Yes.
It's a female. Its winter coat is molting. She's circling around us very cautiously. The howl. How many times have we imagined that sound? A larger wolf comes to inspect us. It's a male, with huge feet. Must weigh 100 pounds or more. It's a really powerful animal. He seems to be sizing us up. He knows Meach, but not me. Very close. He really is checking us out. This is amazing. Just look at him. Oh, he's going away. I'm in his dangerous territory. I'm a stranger in it. Well, just look at that. Doesn't that tell a story? Then he loped away into the Arctic wilderness. Back to camp.
Were you saying you've got some Arctic char?
Yeah. You want it, shall we fry some up?
Yeah. Southern corned beef. Any seasoning?
Yeah, let's...
Okay, let's try some of this on it. It smells great.
We don't always eat like this. Sometimes we just boil in the bag.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Isn't that incredible?
Great.
Boy, you couldn't get that in the finest restaurants.
You couldn't, I tell you.
No, you really couldn't.
Or if you did, it certainly wouldn't taste as good.
It wouldn't.
Back at the den, we see the cubs for the first time. The female's ecstatic. The male's returning with a hare that he's caught. He's been away for hours. There are just 2 adults in this family. The other members of the pack died, probably of starvation last winter. It's a really tough place to survive. There's not much to eat. But this is the beginning of a new pack. In the short Arctic summer, the wolves grow new coats for the winter ahead, and last year's fur is shed. All Arctic wolves are white, maybe as a camouflage in the winter. Watching these animals, it's hard to reconcile them with the popular image of the wolf as the violent, red-eyed, slavering man-killers we've all read about or seen in books and movies. That image is a European one. It comes from a Europe where rabid wolves were once quite common. Meach believes it's rabid wolves that have given the animals such a bad name. And it's rabies that people should be afraid of, not the wolf. Survival of the fittest, right from the start. The male's taking it easy whilst the female suckles her cubs. Meach says they'll be weaned in about a week or 2. Both parents are highly affectionate towards their cubs. The male, whom Meach called the old man, tolerates all kinds of licking and biting and pestering. It's amazing how the old boy put up with it all. He's a very dedicated parent. After resting, the family begin to rouse themselves. Howling is infectious, It's a chorus that seems to bond the family together. Everyone joins in. Howling always rouses one or more of the group into action. It's like a call to arms. In this case, they howled before the male left to go hunting again. A day later, the weather turned. A north wind was blowing a storm down from the pole. This could be winter on the way.
All right, well, David, we're about 600 miles from the North Pole. In the window in the weather that's called summer.
Is over.
Wind chill factor about 15 below, in the middle of a blizzard.
Yeah.
I think it might be a good time to talk about how intelligent wolves are, because it strikes me that we're not being very bright at the moment. Now, I've read that they are much more intelligent than dogs.
Well, they have to be, because they have to earn their own living. And to do that, it takes quite a bit of intelligence. They're not fed by anybody. They got to go out and do it.
I mean, these are pretty bleak and harsh conditions, aren't they? Have you ever observed wolves before in the snow?
Well, I have, but I haven't observed these in the snow. This is the first time that I actually have been sitting at this den while it started snowing and laid down this much snow. So it's interesting to watch them.
Yeah.
All three
There's
of
a
them.
bit of hare's bone.
So, I think so, yeah.
It's the first time these cubs had ever seen snow. Watching wolves like this, it's hard to imagine that man could have ever undertaken a campaign to exterminate every last wolf in the USA. But that's exactly what happened. And it was successful, everywhere except Alaska and Minnesota. They died agonizing deaths by poisoning and in steel-jawed traps set by the new settlers. 2 million wolves. Many predators were killed, often for government bounties. In European minds, the wolf was the symbol of the devil, a religious image originally from medieval bestiaries. It had to be conquered in America as it had been in Europe. The new settlers wanted the land for their cattle and for their crops. Millions of bison were killed, their skulls were ground up as bone meal. The old relationship with the land was lost. The Native Americans' respect for the wilderness and its wildlife had no value. The wolf was no longer a fellow hunter with which to identify. The next day, the sun came out, the snow melted, and the wolf family suddenly took off. In a situation like this, it's vital to follow fast. The wolves can travel for miles to find a new den site, and if Meach loses them, he may not see them again for a whole year. The island's a huge place. We thought we were keeping up, but the wolves gave us the slip.
How long has it been now since, do you figure, since we last saw them?
About 4 hours. I think, you know, what we can do here, it's really calm, and I can howl. And if they're anywhere around this area, they'll reply. You keep your ears open, though, because my ears aren't too good.